Number one Randy fan over here, and Fumica on the mirrored side of the map, which is essentially the same. We have some of these options here, I guess, which makes sense. We
Hey,
can reclaim
Rover
allies, I
versus
guess,
Rover.
because team tournaments. And we've got Rover against Rover,
Yeah, mirror.
which is interesting. People have been saying that Hover's good, but they've decided to go for Rover. Actually, I found this in a tournament that I think I was a bit rusty at the time, so I was confused by the bots in a tournament setting, so I just played Rover and made Ravager and Ripper.
You were confused.
We know how tournaments are pretty confusing.
Yeah, I mean, it's chaotic, I suppose.
We've got number one Randy fan is doing the old commander into the center early. Fumica's doing
Yeah,
the 2 and then 2 base mechs thing.
yeah, Randy is keeping some Scourgers in the back and using that for defense instead of investing early in Lotuses,
Yes.
which is probably clever.
Whereas,
Well, I guess Fumica's defense is the commander at the moment.
and also having these darts out of the map. Basically, this dart is going to see most of anything that comes around the top. So yeah, just having darts out is good there. Although, Fumica not finding the standard the constructor you'd find here early on. And now Fumica's going to do the same, walk into the center thing, with his slower commander.
See, if Randy had done the
This one
exact
has a
same
green
thing
hat.
to Fumica, that would
Interesting.
have worked.
And this one has a red hat.
The green.
Yeah, nice little raid. The drone didn't quite figure it out, but that's okay.
Ah, there he goes.
Yeah, bit of annoyance there. Oh, is this map unbalanced? You can put a radar up there, but not over here. Ah,
Really?
imbalanced, although you could just terraform it
Yeah.
slightly and it would work. So it's a small
But
expense
that's
to
not
put a radar
fair.
there.
That's not fair.
Yeah, so Fumi's
And
going
the
to
map.
win because he can put a radar up here
Yeah, totally.
for cheaper. And in like balanced annihilation, you couldn't even put a radar up here because there's no terraform. You'd just be stuck. It looks like whatever Fumica's doing. I think who do you prefer to be at this point?
Me, usually.
Yeah, but if you had to be one of these sides,
I'd be. I would be Randy. I think. There's so many Scorchers.
it's a lot of scorches. I sort of like what Fumica's doing because there's this Mason, but it hasn't done anything in the last 30 seconds while I was asking this question, so maybe my answer's changed.
Yeah, there's two idle.
And there's
Isn't
these
it?
idle
Oh no, okay,
fences.
they work.
So I think I
Yeah.
preferred to be Fumica, but I preferred to be Fumica in a world where this Mason sort of maybe made some lotus down here, and where these fences came in. Because these fences were being produced earlier. Yeah, this fence has made it to the front first, so these idle fences sort of cost a bit of position.
Randy's just got such a large army.
And
I
Fumica's,
don't
similarly, this Mason was walking up here and was making pace with this Mason, but has just sort of idled there. So I think Randy's just overall dealing with what's happening a bit better, a bit faster.
Randy's got the tankiest commander as well. So
He's
I
got the
would totally
tankier
push.
commander, and slightly more scorches. But with these scorches, you can't do much, I think, into these turrets. He's got the riot gun though, so he's fairly resistant to scorcher dives.
Yeah, but
that's
yeah,
okay because
well.
Fumica's making pure fencer.
That's fair.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Randy was
here,
building up.
here comes the army.
Yeah, here comes the army. Randy was also building up
Yeah.
solars behind its expansion, whereas
Uh, I
Fumica's
would
been a
also at
bit
this
behind on development.
And he's going to be more behind in a second.
Yes. So now these Scorchers are going to come and take out all this. They
He's just
could.
hoping he can expand nakedly.
Ooh. No, Scorchers have decided to let this Mason live. I reckon
They did
they'll
not see him. They
they
did
have
not
not
see
seen
him.
him.
Jesus.
One of them, yeah, I thought that would happen. One's coming back to check. These can trade into these turrets for a bit of a cost. Not too much of a cost actually.
Fine, there's Scorchers. They hug it and kill it instantly.
Yeah, there was no
That's what they
Solars in
do.
front. Solars in front of that would have really slowed the Scorcher
I
push
always
down.
do that. Yeah.
Like this kind of thing, where you just put Solars to.
Meanwhile, in the middle, there's a battle going on.
In the
Not
middle,
in
there is a
Fumica's
battle.
favor. Yeah.
Fences going in.
It's looking bleak for Fumica.
It is looking pretty bleak. That commander, that Mason, of course,
Yeah,
died. The Scorcher has one
that
level, so we can
reclaim-
see that worked. Number one, Randy Fan's got this reclaim, which I should probably. Let's make it so I don't have to press F4 all the time. With construct as an overlay selected. Or overlay, okay, sure. Logic. Oops. There you go. That worked. That looks good. Yeah, very bleak for Fumica now. Which is quite interesting. Very similar starts, but Fumica just not quite using the position he had, idling this Mason, idling these fences so that number one Randy Fan had the sort of fencer advantage and the Scorcher advantage just from how long it took the fences to move from here to here. And
we
not
might see
quite
a dead
building up
commander in
energy.
a second.
And there goes the. Well, I think the commander blew himself up.
Ah. Yeah, that was resigned.
Yeah, very straightforward game. Seeing
Yep.
Randy Fan just eke out some
Doing
advantages
what he does.
with that efficiency. Yeah, a bit more metal produced. Fumica losing a bit more overall, so just a bit of combat inefficiency as well.